come on in.
Nobody really believed they could do all of this work, and they did it, and did it in fine fashion. Even with some problems along the way. So that brought Hubble back to life, and it kind of took away some of the criticism of NASA, because they had now demonstrated that they could do something that had never been done before. We had never serviced a telescope. So when people talk about the legacy of Hubble, I think among its greatest legacies will be helping humanity understand that, yeah, when things go to space, we can, in fact, it's not hopeless if there's something wrong. We can service them in many cases if we make some preparation to do that.
Stop. Stop. Okay, here we go. I'm going to get the PRD. Put it on, the light comes on.
With the camera now installed, Claude Nicollier will reposition Jeff Hoffman so that he can now completely latch the new instrument into the telescope.
Right now it's looking very, very good that we've accomplished all we needed to accomplish for the optical correction of HST. And that's good news for astronomy. And it's good news for NASA to get over this little episode in our history.
And after 5 EVAs, spacewalks, the astronauts came home, and about 2 weeks later we took off the bandages from our eyes, and suddenly Hubble was fixed. It was totally fixed.
Is this it?
Hey! One to the bright
Right
picture.
there!
Oh!
Did it!
Wait.
Oh, no, go.
Yeah, let's get
Yeah, bring it up. Yeah, bring it up.
Bring it up more.
Come on.
More.
Come on.
Oh,
Come on.
not bad.
That's it. There you go.
Coma.
Well,
Not bad.
can we get a sense for which is the brightest pixel?
Yeah, just run the cursor around in there.
Oh, there.
Oh.
It's 2 pixels.
Whoa, not bad at all.
I chaired the subcommittee that financed the manufacture of the most significant contact lens in American history, the fix on the Hubble Space Telescope, and then bankrolled this extraordinary space HMO that went out and gave Hubble telescope a new contact lens. And I'm happy to announce today that after its launch now in 1990, some of its earlier disappointments, the trouble with Hubble is over. We have here a picture taken of the image of a star with the new faint object camera. Here we have the picture taken prior to the servicing mission without the co-star. Over here on my left is the new picture taken of the same star configuration after co-star. This is the picture of the same galaxy, and then here is the picture taken of the same galaxy through the new wide-field planetary camera that was installed by our gallant and brave astronauts. The pictures are remarkable. The science that will come from the pictures are of historical significance. We will now, because of the Hubble fix, be able to do 21st century science that will enable us to look back on the universe. And this is only the beginning.
3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. Discovery now on its way to service NASA's Hubble Space Telescope.
The Hubble Space Telescope is a magnificent achievement because it involves so many aspects of expertise and support, everything from engineering, technology, cultural support, scientific motivation, political support. It was also very innovative because it involved building on the technology developed through the Apollo program of NASA, and then advancing that to the point of having the space shuttle being able to carry satellites like Hubble into low Earth orbit, and then creating an infrastructure where you can bring astronauts repeatedly back up to an orbiting satellite, connecting with that satellite and having those astronauts go out in extravehicular activity to repair, service, upgrade that telescope, that satellite, and then let it go again to continue doing its science. inspiring future missions and future ways that astronauts and science and engineering can all work together to produce new advances in human space exploration. Hubble was pretty much the pioneer in this kind of sustained effort, and we should be grateful for it.
We have booster ignition and liftoff of the Space Shuttle Discovery on a mission to repair the Hubble Space Telescope as we venture into the 21st century.
I hope that it helps us understand what humans are capable of, period. I mean, Hubble represents so many different pieces of this planet working together in harmony. We've got the European Space Agency, NASA, all the universities and science organizations all around this planet that have a vested interest and have reaped the benefit of Hubble. Yeah, I certainly hope it's shown us what we are capable of.
Liftoff of Space Shuttle Columbia to broaden our view of the universe through the Hubble Space Telescope.
It took about 3 years of training before we were ready to go fly. The Hubble missions are some of the most complicated space missions we've ever attempted, and the repairs were difficult, involved developing new tools and procedures. And so that's why it takes longer for a Hubble Space Telescope mission than it did, say, for a International Space Station assembly mission. Those you could turn around much more quickly.
The loss of this valiant crew is something we will never be able to get over, and certainly the families of all of them, we have assured we will do everything we can possibly do to guarantee that they work their way through this horrific tragedy.
The final Hubble servicing mission that left Hubble as the observatory that it is today almost didn't happen because after Columbia, Sean O'Keefe was the NASA administrator, and he made the decision that Hubble was too risky.
I think we all respected the administrator at the time who actually came out in person to tell us. We didn't like what he was telling us, but at least he didn't just send an email. He came out and tried to explain his rationale, which was simply that he thought it was too dangerous for the astronauts since there was no safety net if something went wrong.
Hubble was in an orbit that the crew couldn't use the International Space Station as a safe haven if something went wrong. That, for all of the station missions, our plan was if we could just get the crew somewhere to orbit, we could get them to the International Space Station and put them aboard station until we could get another flight to come up and rescue them.
But so we fortunately were able to keep people occupied while this was churning through the system, and we did some very good work on the possibility of robotic servicing of Hubble. And after a year's worth of work, we actually decided that it would be possible in the future, but we didn't think we could develop it in time to actually be useful for Hubble before it lost control or wasn't able to observe. Unfortunately, about the time we had decided that is when the new administrator came in and said, let's find a way to make the final servicing mission happen.